war did not begin. It was already burning. The sky tore open with neon fire. Energy ripped across the battlefield. Steel screamed. Circuits shattered. Men didn't run. They vanished. And in the middle of chaos, he dropped. David, not a king. Not yet. Just a warrior stepping into hell. Explosions chased his every step. Drones hunted from above. The ground itself tried to swallow him. But he didn't stop. He moved like the storm had chosen him. Every strike precise. Every step calculated. He wasn't fighting to survive. He was fighting to end something. And then the ground shook. Not from war, from something bigger, something ancient, something unstoppable. Goliath, a titan of metal and rage, forged for one purpose, to crush anything that dared to stand. 5 meters of destruction, eyes burning like dying stars, armor breathing heat like a living furnace. And when he moved, the battlefield obeyed. Soldiers broke, machines failed, even the air felt heavy. But David stood still, not frozen, focused, because this was never about armies. This was about one moment, one strike, one decision that would echo forever. Goliath saw him, locked on, and charged. The earth shattered beneath him. Shockwaves tore through the ruins. Fire chased his steps. And David ran forward, not away, toward him. Collision. Light exploded. Sound disappeared. For a second, the world held its breath. Then war returned, louder, faster, deadlier. David moved through chaos like it belonged to him, dodging, striking, calculating. But Goliath was adapting. Every hit made him stronger. Every strike fed his rage. This wasn't a fight, it was a test, and the battlefield was the judge. Buildings collapsed. Sky burned. Time itself felt like it was breaking. And still, neither of them fell. Then, David saw it, not with his eyes, but with something deeper. A flaw, hidden beneath layers of power. A weakness inside the giant. The core, glowing, unstable, waiting. He didn't hesitate. He couldn't, because moments like this don't come twice. Goliath roared, a final charge. Everything behind it, everything inside it. Destruction in motion. But David jumped into the storm, into the fire, into destiny. Time slowed. The world faded. Only 2 forces remained. A giant and a man who refused to bow. Energy gathered. Light bent. The air cracked. And then, impact. The strike landed. Silence. Not peace, just absence. Then, everything exploded. Light consumed the battlefield. Sound shattered reality. Power tore through the sky. And when it ended, the giant fell. Slow, heavy, unstoppable. Goliath was no more. Dust rose. Fire faded. The war stopped breathing. And there he stood, David, not untouched, not unbroken, but standing, alone, in a battlefield that had tried to erase him. This wasn't victory, Not yet. Because as the smoke lifted, the sky changed. Something new arrived. Not one enemy, not one war, but something greater, something darker, watching, waiting. And David looked up, knowing one truth. This was only the beginning. Goliath had fallen, but the war had only just begun. David stood still, breathing, taking it in. Victory. Silence. Then something shifted, not in the valley, but in the shadows. Unseen, unheard, gathering. Because when a man rises, so do enemies no one else. This war began before the first shot was fired. The city was already collapsing. Neon lights flickered through smoke and digital rain. David ran through the ruins as shadows hunted him from every direction. They were not men. They were not machines. They were something darker. Something that could move through walls, through steel, through flesh. He fired, but the shots passed through them like smoke. Still, they came closer. Every step forward felt like death breathing down his neck. Then David changed his sight. His eyes lit with blue code. The world transformed into a battlefield of data and distortion. At last he could see them. Fragments of darkness. Ghosts made of broken light. They circled him, closing in, attacking from every angle. But David did not panic. He adapted. A pulse wave exploded from his weapon. One shadow froze. For the first time, it became real. And in that single opening, David struck. The creature shattered into fragments of light and dust. But victory lasted only a moment. More shadows poured from the walls, from the streets, from the sky itself. The battlefield began to break apart. The ground beneath him glitched and collapsed into darkness. David leaped across broken streets and burning rooftops. Every jump was survival. Every landing was war. The enemy followed. Faster now. Smarter now. Then something changed. The shadows stopped chasing. They began to merge. One by one, many became one. A giant rose from the darkness. A titan made of living shadow, towering over the city, watching him, studying him. David moved. The titan moved. David attacked. The titan answered with the same motion. Every strike, every dodge, every step. It copied him perfectly. This was no ordinary enemy. It was learning. It was becoming him. The battle turned into a mirror. Power against precision. Movement against movement. David was thrown across the city in a blast of dark energy. Smoke filled the air. The skyline trembled. But then he understood. This battle would not be won by strength. He stopped moving. Silence entered the war. His eyes scanned deeper, past the armor of shadow, past the illusion. And then he saw it. The core. Hidden inside the shifting darkness. A single unstable light. The heart of the Titan. David changed his rhythm. No pattern. No prediction. He moved in ways the enemy could not copy. A false step. A sudden turn. A broken rhythm. The Titan followed the wrong move. And for one moment, its core was exposed. David charged his weapon. Light gathered in his hand. The entire battlefield bent around the energy. One chance, one strike. He released it. The blast tore through the darkness. The Titan screamed. Its body shattered into a storm of broken code and light. The sky exploded with neon fire. Every shadow soldier collapsed. The streets stabilized. The city lights slowly returned. Silence fell over the battlefield. Smoke drifted through the rain. David stood alone in the ruins, breathing, watching. He was reading, but not from any scroll of men. He was watching, but no eye could see what he saw. And he was waiting, not for battle, but for what the battle would become. The shadows moved differently here, not like wind, not like nightfall, but like something alive, something aware. David stood still, as if stillness was his armor, because in this place, movement was not strength. Perception was. The air grew colder, not from weather, but from presence. Something was close, not behind him, not in front of him, but everywhere. In the shadowed heart of a neon-drenched kingdom, where ancient stone bleeds pulsing electric blue circuitry and rain hammers through the shattered dome, the Mad King rises. Saul, wild-haired and heavy-bearded, eyes burning with unstable rage, grips his crackling energy spear and slams his fist on the obsidian throne.
Fury!
Consumed by jealousy, he towers, ready to destroy the Chosen One.
The storm!
With a roar that shakes the glowing arches, Saul spins the spear in a deadly arc and hurls it forward with explosive fury. The spear screams across the hall, a blazing blue plasma trail tearing through curtains of rain like divine judgment unleashed. Yet David stands completely unmoved. Young, athletic, calm, powerful eyes glowing with divine light. He barely shifts as the lethal spear flies inches past his head. An invisible shield of grace protects him, the hand of heaven at work. The spear slams violently into the pillar behind him, exploding stone into glowing blue fractures and sparks. The hall trembles with the force of a failing king's wrath. Enraged beyond reason, Saul rips a second spear from the glowing rack. Body shaking with madness, he stalks forward, screaming into the neon storm. The second spear launches faster, a raging blue vortex. But David moves with graceful precision, the blade passing harmlessly, unable to touch the Anointed One. Now lost to darkness, Saul seizes the final spear. Face twisted in torment, veins bulging, he draws back with all his broken strength. The third spear hurtles forward, but inches from David's heart, it freezes mid-air. A shimmering, holy energy field holds it suspended, revealing the powerful anointing no weapon can break. The spear drops harmlessly at David's feet. He exhales slowly, eyes filled with quiet, unshakable authority. In this moment, the true king is revealed. Later, in a dripping cyberpunk cave glowing with blue moss, Saul lies asleep, haunted by nightmares. David stands over him, blade raised high. Yet mercy triumphs. He slowly lowers the weapon, steps back into shadow, and disappears, leaving Saul untouched. On the rain-drenched battlefield, where glowing blue fissures crack the earth, David leads the furious charge. Sword raised high, he cuts through chaos with divine favor, precise, powerful, unstoppable. In brutal combat, he clashes with a giant champion. Sparks explode as steel meets steel. With skill and grace, he delivers the decisive strike and stands victorious. Amid the fallen, David plants his sword. His army surges behind him, cheering under glowing blue banners. The Ark of the Covenant enters the wet Jerusalem streets, radiating intense divine blue light. The crowd parts in awe as David walks reverently beside it, heart full of joy. Before the Ark, David explodes into passionate dance. Raw, fiery abandon, feet pounding wet stone, arms lifted high, robe flowing. The dance grows wilder, ecstatic spins and powerful leaps, blue energy pulsing in rhythm, particles rising like sparks of heaven. The ground trembles under his thunderous stomps, water exploding with every impact. This is worship unbound. The crowd watches in mixed wonder, some amazed, many moved to tears. From a high balcony, Michal stares with cold disdain and jealousy. She cannot understand the holy fire burning in him. David stops, looks up at her with bold confidence, his eyes declaring, "I will dance even more wildly for the one who chose me." In stark contrast, Saul sits broken and isolated in total darkness, while David stands radiant in brilliant blue light. Above David's head, a crown of pure blue-golden light forms, particles locking into place. He accepts it humbly, the weight of kingship upon the anointed one. Finally, David walks with steady, unstoppable stride into a massive beam of heavenly blue-white light. The shadows of the past dissolve behind him. The spear has failed. The crown has come. A new era rises in the neon glow of eternity. Thank you for watching Bible Prophecy Animation Channel. God bless you richly. Stay connected, subscribe. This is just the beginning.